Hi, I'm Mark Taylor, and it's time for another episode of The Mark Taylor Show. This week's guest is a returnee, actually. It's Wayne Beaumaster he's just nearby here. He's out in Shamcook. No, it's not Shamcook. It's
Bayside.
Yeah. Bayside. And he's been on here before, and he's been talking about the Eastern Cougar. Welcome back to the show, Wayne.
Well, good to be back.
Well, the last time I guess we talked, you had pictures and everything, but we're going to amp it up a little bit here tonight. I think we got a little bit more proof for the pudding. You said you might have some aces in the hole.
Well, I do, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And since the last show, I had a chance to talk to some people that have told me that they've run into the black cat. Now, you've run into that as well, right? I mean, a panther, is that the proper term?
Well, there can be a black cougar, or there's also panthers.
Okay.
The panthers are bigger.
Okay.
And but they're both.
Would you say that we have them both in this area?
We do.
So the terms aren't interchangeable. They're actually different cats.
Well, like I said, the panther's bigger, and it's got a different face, like more of a subtle face.
Okay.
And then the cougar has.
Okay.
The cougar resembles the other cougar, only it's black.
Right. And during your last show, you mentioned about pigs. That when you were just younger, right? I guess you were living at home, and something slaughtered a pig.
Yeah.
And you say that you've since run into stories where that's commonplace.
I got a confirmation on that. I was invited to a documentary in St. John at the museum by a guy from Connecticut.
Okay.
He was going through the Maritimes, doing stories with different provinces. And I got invited to go. My name must have been out there on the website somewhere, but anyway, so I went up. But he wanted to know if I had any black ones. And I said, yeah, I've got black ones. And so anyway, I went up to the presentation, and he showed a cougar's lair on his video.
Okay.
And there was a pig in the lair. So that was a confirmation that they do kill pigs.
Yeah.
So that was, I accepted that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, the cougars, you heard that cats don't like water.
No.
And I've always thought that, but
a normal cat that you would domesticate, you certainly can't get them near water, but that's not these wild ones. You say they'll swim,
well,
right?
He showed it, and he said they can swim over 8 miles, and he showed it in a big body of water.
Okay.
So they're a strong animal to go swim that far.
Well, I think I told you, I ran into people have told me that they saw them in Deer Island and in Campobello.
Yeah. Well, they could go across the bridge at night, or they could swim across.
Yeah, yep. I mean, it's not outlandish to think that.
That's right. And right here in Bayside, they could be in Perry, Maine. I'm right across from Perry, Maine.
Right. Yep. So they don't have to have a passport?
No, they don't need a passport.
So you've talked to other people, obviously, during the years that have had these experiences with cats and stuff.
Yeah, but everybody's kind of reluctant to talk about it because, they see it, but they can't prove it. And, I proved as far as I'm concerned beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's still not good enough for the authorities. I don't know what it's going to take to make them aware, that they're here. But anyway.
Well, during the show tonight, we're gonna blend in some video that you have. Now you have video of them at nighttime under an intense light, right? So you can see that these things, they're not a house cat.
Oh no, not house cats. If I wanted to show you house cats, I'd show you house cats.
Yeah.
Like house cats, just little small short steps, and they're small. I mean, I've got house cats on video before, but I don't document them because
No.
Anyway, these videos you're going to see tonight, these inserts, they're big cats, and look at the muscles on their shoulders. I mean, it's you just can't help but miss them or see them because they just when they stride out, and they're 6 and 7 feet long.
Oh yeah. Well, there was one that you showed that we looked at earlier. Was there was like you said a 4 foot. Looked like a 4x4 or 6x6 sitting there.
She was kind of bushy, but she had cubs with her.
Right.
But she's 4 feet because there's a 4 foot measurement system right there.
Okay.
Now that South American cougar I talked about the last time we had the show.
Yep.
It had a tail something similar to her.
Okay.
So they could be a crossbreed, between the Canadian cougar and the South American cougar.
Okay.
It probably is.
Well, it's funny because it's only been a couple weeks since I saw you last, and you say you got pictures since then.
I got a black panther since.
Wow. And is that at nighttime or in the daytime?
No, it's at nighttime, and it's on a game camera.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And it is as wide as my truck.
Holy
You straighten
smokes.
the tail out, it's as wide as my truck.
Have you? One question I would have. Have you ever run into food that they've like something the game they have killed or anything like that? Do you ever run into?
No, I've never run into a lair. No.
Or have you ever seen where they've maybe killed a raccoon or something at nighttime, or you just saw the blood and guts laying around?
No.
They would take it and drag it back to the.
They kill their food and take it right to their lair, and they feed off it. Mother and 2 kittens will feed off 1 deer for 10 days.
Wow, kind of like you and I going to get our groceries and taking them home to eat them.
Yeah, but they don't eat the bones.
No.
You know what? They lick the meat off the bones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's not much left.
No.
Is what you're saying.
No.
Wow.
So the DNA, like for scat and stuff like that, if there's bone in it, then it's not a cougar.
Right. No. God, no. So you're still running into like people are telling you that they have seen them, and we've you got all kinds of documentation. You have some books that you have.
Oh yeah.
Actually, you brought some that people, if they want to read up on the subject, you got a couple books. You have one from a gentleman named Bruce Wright. Well, maybe hold it up and we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, I was in
Wayne. I don't know if you can.
Where's the
people can see it,
camera?
but hold it up in front of you, and if we. But it's on the track of the New Brunswick Panther.
Yeah.
And that's by Bruce Wright,
Yeah.
and it's all about the Eastern. Was it? You say Bruce is passed on now, right?
He was a forest ranger. Yes, he was, and he retired. He died young.
Okay.
But he was. I talked to the author of this book. He's even signed today.
Okay.
Gilbert
okay.
Allardyce.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilbert.
Allardyce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And anyway, he was very compassionate about the cougars,
Right.
and he knew they were here, but again to prove it.
Yep.
And he even had Americans working with him, and I tried to get a hold of him after I got a hold of this book and stuff,
Okay.
They've died or whatever,
Yeah.
'cause this was quite a few years before. And so anyway, he had a plaster of Paris. That tells right in this book.
Okay.
And,
Which is something of what you've done. You've done that as well.
yes,
right?
I have, yeah. And but I would advise anybody, you can get this at the charter chapters in Fredericton.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
where I got it.
Yeah, probably in St. John has it.
yeah, St. John
anywhere,
too.
anywhere
But,
across Canada, I guess.
Yeah, I would advise anybody to buy one. It's
Yeah.
beautiful reading.
Yeah.
And it says right in there, and I quote, "The history of the North American animals have not been written."
Okay. We're
that
still
includes-
evolving.
And that includes the cougar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even though this guy was into it head over heels, he had a plaster of Paris and was sent down to somewhere in the States to be
Analyzed.
And when he got it back, it was positive. So his boss said, I'm not making anything up. Everything's in the book.
Yep.
His boss said, well, we keep this under wraps because we don't want this to get out, so we know what we're going to do here.
Right.
So the next day, I guess evidently he just called the newspaper and said that there are cougars in New Brunswick and shoot everyone you see. So he didn't get anywhere with that.
Wow.
So where do I stand?
Yeah,
and he was a part of the organization.
Yeah. Well, I don't get what the problem is with it admitting it. If it's there, it's there. I mean, like to me, I've heard story of wolves.
Yeah.
Have you heard that? There's wolves maybe coming. I don't know, maybe not far south as us, but I mean certainly wolves are coming closer to us.
I got a wolf here. I got a wolf on camera.
Okay.
I got a wolf right here on my camera, Bayside. If I'd thought that they could have brought it tonight and showed
Yeah. So do you think wolves are in this area?
Oh yes, sure they are. But I've been told not. They haven't.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay. So that's kind of
But proof's in the pudding.
Hush. Yeah.
Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
No, that night I had my camera set in a different angle, and I just seen these. It was just before dark.
Yeah.
They come up out of the woods, and the yellow eyes and the big ears, and they come up.
No way it was a coyote or a dog or.
No. And anyway, a wolf would sooner die than touch anything with human scent.
Okay.
I read that because they were made pretty near extinct.
Yeah.
And anyway, it come up, and I had a piece of sponge out in the ground with
Yeah,
some,
and usually you got a red jacket on, a little Red Riding Hood.
yeah. But anyway, I had a sponge up there with
Yeah.
some scent in it.
Yeah.
So it was suspicious to that because it could smell the scent.
Right.
So it went over, and this is all I can prove every word I tell you because it's on video.
Okay.
And it just went out, and just like he was touching the top of a hot stove, just touched it with his paw. And it tail went up, and it just swirled just like that.
Wow.
And then it got its bearings. I thought it was gone.
Okay.
It got its bearings, and it turned around and walked right through.
And
Now I had a measuring system there from the cats,
Right.
so I stopped him right in front of that. So he's 5 feet.
From what, head to tail?
Yeah,
or
head to tail.
to butt?
Head to tail.
To his butt?
Head to tail.
Okay, head to tail. It's 5 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he just walked off.
Yeah.
Only seen him once.
Well, another thing that I'm curious about, are traps. Now, I think the last show you said that the Rangers from St. George brought you some traps, and then they pulled it back on you and said, they had to use it for somewhere else, which is okay. That's legit. I'll go along with that. Have you ever thought of maybe somehow trapping one so you could hold on to it and take pictures of it, maybe get a closer up look at them and?
Well, yeah, I thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Letting them go is going to be tricky. I understand that.
Well, in fact, I've got an Aldridge lake hole singer, and that's what the authorities use to catch them because they're humane. They won't hurt them. If they were just relaxed, they could step right out of it.
Okay.
But they don't. They fight it. You know what I mean? And so if I caught it, well, then I don't know where I'd be. You know what I mean? So I haven't got around to setting that up yet.
Yep.
So I probably would have to call the authorities to come and tranquilize it.
Oh yeah.
And then they take the
because they're going to be a little bit owly, I would think. By the time you get them, you let them go.
Well, I caught a house cat in a live trap one time, and I'll tell you, it was owly.
Yeah.
I let it out of the trap, and it went over far near the wall, and it stopped and hissed at me. That's something for a house cat to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if a raccoon, they say if you corner one of them, you get yourself in a fight as well.
Yeah.
So have you ever seen any of these cats killing anything? Like have you ever filmed them chasing something or anything like?
No. I saw one chasing a house cat one time.
Okay.
Coming around the mini home there, and the house cat went up the tree. And of course, I've got that in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there?
That's what I mean. There's no house cats because the cats would kill them.
No, that's right.
And there are ladies across the road there. I mean, she had rabbits and cats, and she has no more rabbits. Because that's their game.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they'll kill anything, right?
Yeah,
And you've had them come in contact with you with your car. You said you got pictures and video of them ripping the bumper off a car, or trying to rip the bumper off a car.
My car, I had a car, yeah. And one day I went out, and gee, I seen the front was kind of all scratched up there. There was shreds of plastic. So I said, what happened here? Because I hadn't hit anything, so I started examining it. Now, I presume that another male probably scented on that bumper somewhere.
Right.
And anyway, the other cat didn't like it or whatever, and it shred. There's
That's
video.
plastic.
There's a video.
That's that hard plastic, right?
It's hard plastic, but
or that would go around around your bumper, right?
Oh, it tore that clear from the center of the car right over to the side, eh?
Right.
Over, and it nearly pulled it off because you can see where it cracked.
Did you hear this going on at night when you were sleeping?
No, I never heard a thing. This is just something I ran across, but it made me stop and take notice because those shreds were 3/16 of an inch wide.
Right.
Now you imagine the claw on that.
Oh my. Yeah.
What kind of a job would that do on you?
Yeah. Probably wouldn't leave much left to you, I wouldn't think.
No, I took a video of that and the damage and put it back together with a cable tie, and I did a documentary on it with my own. And that can be shown sometime, maybe.
Yeah. We'll see if we could get that. Maybe have a look at that. I mean, but you've got overwhelming, I think, proof here.
Yeah, and another one there.
If people were skeptical of the pictures and stuff, I think this here is certainly something that's going to.
Well, it makes you sit up and take notice when something rips it like that, and the shreds are there. There's 3/16 of an inch, and I mean that's not exaggerating. You can measure it. You know what I mean? Like no, it's. I don't live there in fear, but I respect them. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even today.
So, and you're thinking that, how long have you been there in that one location?
Well, I bought the property in '92, and it was all grown up new growth, and
right.
I cleared it all because I didn't want any underbrush. And at that time, there was a dump and rolling dam, and I hauled all the brush up there and burned it.
Yep.
And then I had some fill hauled in there to get a...
And were they there then?
They were, but I didn't know it. I never saw a thing. And
so they've been there over 20 years?
Oh, yes. They've been there, forever, probably. That den's been there a long time.
Wow.
But I didn't, like I said, I didn't know it was a den until after I settled in there. And but it makes sense that their scent trail still leads to that, because it was a beautiful maternal den. I'm sorry I really enclosed that without taking a picture of it first.
No. Yeah. Well, I browsed through your book, one of the books you had left here while you had gone earlier, and it said that they have midsummer. Do they? I think the babies come in midsummer, and and I think they breed every other year or something.
Yeah, they have young every 2 years, and they can have 2 to 6 in a litter.
Yeah.
And but again, it's when the male is in the area. You know what I mean? Like he's got a big territory, like we talked about the last show. There, it's a 25-mile radius.
Yeah.
And but he stays with her when she's in heat, he stays with her for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And until things are done, and then she puts the runs on.
Okay.
And there's 3 months gestation. Okay.
Right.
She has them young in 3 months.
Yep.
Because he'll eat those cubs.
That's what you were mentioning. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the cannibalism,
Yeah.
the carnivores, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Because he don't want any, especially the males.
Right.
Because he doesn't want any males to take in his territory.
Right. Now, will panthers? Would they breed with cougars and stuff like that? How's that all?
Well, Mark, I can't answer that question.
know.
But I would presume, they could.
Yeah, but and hence you get would you get you've had beige ones, right? You have beige cats.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have the
Gray ones, I have.
gray ones.
Brown ones, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're all every don't say every color.
Then I have
rainbow.
striped ones, black and gray.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think we had talked as well. You've had lynxes around there, or lynx bobcat.
One lynx. I have one lynx go through there.
Okay.
Yeah, one lynx, and I got that on video.
I'm surprised you haven't run into some fights. Like
I've
that.
heard a growl in the night out there, type
Yep.
of thing like that. But I could have audio, like I do well to look after the pictures,
Yeah.
let alone all the audio and everything.
Yep.
In this presentation tonight, these animals that you might see, during the show, there's no audio on them. It's just, it's just the style and it's different variety of colors.
Yep. But you're saying you primarily get your footage at nighttime.
Yeah. All nights. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you ever run into you have run into them during the day though, have you not?
Well, I was close to one day when I let a growl out of it. It didn't want me coming any closer. So
now I see your license plate has a distinct name on it as well, doesn't it? Oh, you got two of them though. I think don't you have personalized ones?
Yeah, well, I got right into it. Yeah, header wheels. Yeah,
you got one that says Puma.
Yeah, that's my car, and then I wanted one for my truck. I had done the truck first, and then I got the car, so I put down the car, my old truck, that is.
Yeah.
And then I got the new truck there. There's new to me, and so I wanted to put something on that relating to the cats. So close as I could come would be Catamount. The abbreviation is Catamount, CATAMTN.
Yeah.
And I've been asked at the border,
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
And as soon as I tell them, well, then they understand.
Yeah.
But I carry pictures with me.
Right.
And I'll show them the odd pictures now and then, and they get a chuckle out of that.
Well, yeah. As I say, the pictures are quite convincing, and I think the video. Once people see the video, it should drive the point home that hey, we're not alone in this area. I think we got some visitors around that. You have another book too, don't you?
No, that's just.
That's just your notes. Okay, yeah. But when we were looking at them earlier, it's amazing the amount of footage that you have.
Oh well, you asked me the other night there, and it was off the top of my head, and I was the first time, when you're little. You don't, but no, I said 35 or 40, but I wouldn't be, and I'd be very generous by saying that. I've got a lot more than that.
And you
over 15 years.
Okay, are these some of this footage that we'll see? Is this stuff that you have shown to the authorities, or?
Oh yes, yeah. A lot of Bob Brankoffs I've seen in Nova Scotia.
Right.
Yeah. And Fundy National Park. I told you about.
And they discount them as
they'll see some of the stuff that
as
they're
house cats and coyotes, or.
Well, yeah, they told me, but I have no alternative but to believe it, eh?
Yeah, I mean, but you know better. I mean. You and I have been around this earth long enough to know that a house cat is not going to rip the bumper off your car.
That's true, yeah.
Not that I know of. Not the ones
I've seen some big house
into.
cats, but I've never seen any as big as these.
He'd be eating a lot of whiskers, I think. He's going to do something like that.
Yeah, no, there's no question about it. They're here, and my cameras are running. I got another one this week, and it's a panther. It's got the flat face, but I've got it in a video before that.
Right.
And it's got the same figured head, but it's a long black cat.
Okay. Yeah. I think you mentioned you were going to try to add a microphone to this. Were you not going to?
Well, I can. Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. But
and see if you can get some. But I don't know how that would work.
They don't do a lot of growling though.
No.
I do hear them once in a while, but they don't. When the light hits them, of course, you're used to it now, and they just go on through.
Yep. So they just go. Basically, that's what the light comes on. You say you have quartz light. Is that how we?
No, I have an infrared.
Infrared
security light. Yeah.
Okay, and
it's on a sensor. They turn the light on, but they're committed to the camera when they do.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess now, probably at first, they must have been a little bit spooked by it, right?
Well, yeah, well, but like I said, it took me a while to adjust to, you know, how to deal with them too. But you
Yeah.
got to have enough field that they can be committed when the light comes on. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So I got them on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to be with a little.
And you said you actually seen a pregnant mother, right? I mean, you had.
Oh, I got a picture of a pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I can show you that on my.
Yeah, she said she be carrying as many as 6. Is that?
I keep a log. Eh?
Okay.
I have a calendar every year, and I keep a log of sightings, when I see them,
Yep.
what time I see them, and if I wanted really to take one of them cats out, all I got to do is sit up, sleep for 3 days at certain times of the month, and sit up all
Yep.
night, and I can take my cat out. Now,
Yeah.
I got them down to a science.
Yeah, you kind of know
you
when they're going to be around.
Yeah, I do. I know roughly when they're coming through. Yeah.
And do you see them in the winter?
Not so much in the winter. No.
What would they just?
They
come
must
out,
go into their, the hills or whatever. There.
But they must come out to hunt, right? I mean,
Well, they have to come out and hunt.
'cause they don't
You
hibernate.
see tracks. I get it.
they don't hibernate, right? I
No,
mean,
they travel during storms though to cover their tracks. I'll tell you that.
Is that
I
right?
got a picture of. I should have brought that picture down to show you. I got a picture where I was going to St. Stephen one morning. It was after a storm, and this deer trail come down across the road by Oak Bay,
right?
and there was a Y shape, you know, in the field,
Okay.
and it was a cougar intercepted that trail, and he was jumping 15 feet to a jump, and his tail drag is the only North American animal that leaves a tail drag.
Okay.
It's in between the jumps. So it
Wow.
was a
So
cougar.
it's flopping down.
And he went right into that trail of the deer
Okay.
and down across the road.
Wow.
No, I've got that on video.
So you're seeing them all over the place. So you're telling me earlier that or I guess on another show, that you said you have a quick eye for that stuff, that you would spot them, where maybe the normal guy would just drive right by, not even spot them, right?
Well, yeah, I do.
Because you know what to look for now.
No, I'm not looking for it. It's just the movement.
Right.
And of course, when I see a cougar, I mean, I know what you know. A lot of people think cougars are great big. They're not even going to be that big, you know.
No.
They're fast, you know, like they're fast,
Yeah.
quick. And
They can run faster than a deer.
Well,
obviously.
they can outrun a deer for a short distance.
Yeah.
I've read that. They can outrun a deer for a short distance.
Wow.
Well,
Well, deer is more of a sprinter, right? I mean,
Yeah, but well, see, look at the legs in the deer. I mean, look how much more ground they're going to cover in a jump. Than a cougar's got to work twice as hard to do that. So
Yeah.
he's not going to. There's two main things that a cougar's got to worry about, and that is goring himself when he jumps a buck deer and getting hurt.
Yeah.
Because he'll starve to death and die.
Right.
And the other is man.
Yep.
Other than that, they're home free.
Well, you know, another thing I found, I don't know if it's peculiar or whatever, but I've never heard tell of it. I don't know, maybe you have, of somebody finding a dead one, or you know, has anybody ever hit one with a car or something like that?
Yeah, if you ever did, you'd never hear tell of it if somebody got a hold of it. But I did tell you, there was a lady that lived up in Bayside here, and she's moved away now. She's an older lady in St. John, but she said her husband found one. The old firing place on Bayside there, if anybody's familiar with that.
Okay.
They lived there at one time or in that area, and they found one bed down behind there.
Right.
Well, that wouldn't be a rock throw from where I am.
Okay.
That's all that tells you.
But you're saying that you would never hear tell of it. Is it almost like finding a UFO or something? Would people?
No, any animal that's wounded or hurt or they're going in a hole and die, you won't find them.
Okay. I don't say, but if you did find one, you think somebody's going to come and yank them away from you, and that'll be?
Oh, if the authorities thought I had one, they'd take them, yeah.
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 But you wouldn't be allowed to capture one and keep it, right?
No,
I mean,
no.
that's
well,
we kind of discussed that.
They do have pets, I guess, in the States. I don't ever heard what they'll say, they're escape to release pets, eh? These animals you're seeing even.
Yeah.
Well, I've never heard tell anybody have one, let alone one escaping.
No.
And if they did escape, they'd have to report it because the public would be in danger.
Well, it's kind of like you hear people, the snakes get away from them and stuff, right?
Well, yes, but I read a story down in the States in Colorado, and this mother got hit, and she was expecting, and she had 3 cubs.
Okay.
And they survived. She died, but they survived. So
Right.
the authorities took them in, and they brought them up with bottles, milk bottles and everything, but they didn't want to keep them any longer than they had to because they might lose their senses for the wild.
Okay.
So when they got old enough, they put those things on them there, those tracers,
Yep.
and took them out in by helicopter and dropped them off in different locations, eh? So they kept track of them.
Okay.
Well, one got hit by a car,
Okay.
another one broke into a camp, and the guy killed it with an axe because they didn't know how to fend for themselves. Eh?
Right.
And the third one, they tracked it down and brought it in.
My God.
So there goes to show you right there.
Yeah. It just seems
They got to be born and brought up in the wild to survive.
Yeah, I like it. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around what the problem is with admitting them. Admitting that they're around.
Well, Mark, I can't answer that question because
No.
I don't either. But I'm more comfortable now that I have done what I've done.
Well, you get a little bit of an understanding of how they work and how they.
Oh yeah, and they are a beautiful animal, and I admire them. You know, for they're not going to hurt you.
No.
As long as they get food.
Hey.
And I talked to our people, and our people were negative because they didn't want to admit they're here. Okay.
Right.
So I got a hold of the Eastern Cougar Foundation in North Range, West Virginia. And Todd Lester was the guy's name.
Okay.
And the nicest man that you'd ever want to talk to.
And they don't have, and they embrace it.
Well, yeah, he told me, I wish there was more people like you that would, were doing this stuff like this.
Well,
because they're a research center.
Yep.
It tells them stuff,
Well, I hate to cut you off, Wayne, because we're running out of time. But here we are. We got our second show in, and obviously we got some. As I say, we ramped it up a little bit here, and I appreciate you coming on. And this is a fascinating show.
This has gone fast and loud.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, that's another episode of the Mark Taylor Show. Please join in next time. Thank you.